In this video, I'm going to talk about how to break the cycle of performance anxiety and empower yourself. Have you ever been on stage with the spotlight on and this feeling of perfection that the audience seems to expect from you? Well, if you have, imagine feeling that kind of pressure every single time you are about to take an exam, give a presentation, or perform a task where your skills are put to the test. That's performance anxiety in a nutshell. And this is more than just butterflies in the stomach. It's a common issue that affects more people than you think. Apparently, 20% of Americans, no matter how competent they are. It certainly affected me in the past, and I'll talk more about that later. Even one of my favorite movies, called Heart and Souls, starring Robert Downey Jr., shows him trying to help a ghost with severe singing performance issues. And if you want to know if that character pushes through the fear of showing the world who he is or was, technically speaking, because he's now a ghost, just click on the link provided in the video description. At any rate, learning how to break the cycle of performance anxiety is crucial for a healthy and successful life. Whether you feel anxious as a student or as a professional, the advice I'm going to give you will help you take center stage with poise and confidence while also remaining true to yourself. Let's begin by defining performance anxiety. This is also known as stage fright, and it refers to a type of fear or phobia that stems from pressure to perform well in front of others. This fear can be intense to the point where it interferes with your ability to perform, causing a cycle of significant distress, physical discomfort, and avoidance that can feel hard to break. The anxiety can get so bad that it may feel like you're battling a personal demon with little chance of success. After all, how can you fight something of your own creation? What are the causes of performance anxiety? A variety of factors are involved here, including intense fear of failure, previous negative experiences, high expectations from yourself and others, lack of preparation, and fear of judgment or criticism. The symptoms then, well, they could be physical, emotional, and behavioral, such as rapid heartbeat, dry mouth, shaking, nausea, negative thoughts and feelings of dread, procrastination, and avoidance of the performance situation. So, this clearly will impact mental health as well, and persistent anxiety can lead to low self esteem, depression, and even social isolation. It really is a vicious cycle because the more anxious you are, the less likely it is that you will perform well. Poor performance will negatively affect your self image. You'll then avoid performing situations, which makes your anxiety worse because you're not facing your fear and not telling anyone what you're experiencing because you think no one gets it will result in loneliness as well. So, what happens if performance anxiety goes untreated? Well, leaving it unchecked will lead to chronic stress, burnout, and mental health disorders. It can also hinder your academic or career progress and affect personal relationships. So let's do something about it, shall we? Action is key. I am going to break this down into a 15-step guide to help you. And in case you're wondering who I am to tell you all of this, well, I've been a university teacher and also a secondary school teacher who's worked with um, adults, with business professionals, and I can assure you that the advice I give you will help you reduce anxiety and also um, stop anxiety from casting a shadow on your ability to shine ever again. I'm going to begin obviously with step number one, and that's preparation. So it's nothing earth shattering at this point. Thorough preparation will increase your confidence and help you overcome performance anxiety. This, of course, means rehearsing, and the question is how many times? As many times as it takes. If you feel uncomfortable practicing in front of a mirror, because I've never been comfortable doing that, ask a trusted fellow student or professional to give you feedback. They can see what you can't. Overall, aim for balance. That means not under preparing, since that will just make you nervous, and also not over preparing, because that will take naturalness away and leave no spontaneity in the performance. Step number 2, visualize constructively. Imagine yourself performing well. Positive mental images can train your brain to believe in your abilities. No matter what, don't allow your mind to go to that dark place of worst case scenarios playing out in a never-ending loop. Negative thoughts might turn into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Go for an optimistic performance narrative instead, and I can assure you this is a choice. Step number 3, shift your mindset. Even if you made a mistake, it's not the end of the world. That's actually called all or nothing thinking. Embrace errors and even failures as learning opportunities. It's something that I've done, and it's something that someone much, much more famous has done, Michael Jordan. So if you click on the link in the description below, you'll see a video where he talks about doing exactly this, embracing failures and moving on, pushing through it towards success. Step 4, focus on the beginning, not the entire task. So when you start, just tell yourself, I want to make a strong start. You know what will happen next, right? If you do make a strong start, that will be such a confidence booster that you'll most likely continue to perform well throughout. This is a neat little psychological trick. Step 5, use a physical relaxation technique. To boost relaxation, tense and then release different muscle groups. You can start with your toes and work your way up toward the neck and the head, or the other way around. So the way it works is that you tense your muscles up for 5 seconds and then you relax them for 30 seconds and repeat. This will work wonders, and it's called progressive muscle relaxation. Step 6, meditate. Meditation can calm the mind before a performance. Moreover, it can also silence the inner critic that you really don't need to hear from at that time. So what I recommend is a series of meditations coming from the Arts Wellbeing Collective. Again, the link will be provided below, and you can try their pre-show performance energy meditation, but by all means try them all and see how they work for you. Step 7, limit caffeine intake on the day of the performance at least. Why is that? Because caffeine can cause increased heart rate, tremors, and anxious feelings. The last thing you need is more anxiety. It goes without saying that having a healthy lifestyle can be nothing but good for reducing anxiety. Step 8, power pose. So this is a term coined by Amy Cuddy, who unfortunately suffered a traumatic brain injury but still managed to fulfill her dream of teaching at Harvard. And she talks about this posture that you mentally associate with being powerful. Sometimes this is called the Wonder Woman pose. So what it means is that you would maybe put your arms on your hips like this for a few seconds, right? Or try something else that makes you feel empowered. Please let me clarify. I don't mean something that is about asserting dominance over anyone else. It's just something that will help boost your confidence before your performance. So try it out. Step 9, reach a state of flow. This is another theory that has stood the test of time, despite how difficult it is to pronounce the name of the psychologist who came up with it. So I'm not even going to try in this video, but you will see the name in the description below the video. What is this about? Well, flow is any activity that you do gladly, even if no extrinsic reward, such as money or fame, is involved. So, a big deal, really. Basically, if you enjoy the music, dance, ideas that your performance revolves around, you'll be so absorbed in the experience that nothing else will matter. And that's what you want. Step 10, embrace imperfection. The pursuit of perfection is futile, so why chase what can never be attained? People want what's real anyway, and real means imperfect. So let yourself mess up every once in a while. Don't stress over performance hiccups. Shrug them off instead. If anything, they will endear you to an audience that suddenly finds you more relatable, more human. Step 11, look at the big picture. Is an academic or business presentation going to boost your mark or contribute to a promotion? If so, a good performance will probably get you there. This in itself should motivate you to work hard to prepare for it, and therefore, by feeling prepared, you will feel less anxious. Step 12, realize the value of your performance. The question is, how important is your performance? I bet it's pretty important. If you become aware of this, then you're going to perform to the best of your abilities, even if it's hard for you to do so. I'm no stranger to this. I've always been shy, so speaking in public or, making a YouTube video has never been easy. But I refuse to let this stop me from sharing what I believe, since I believe in the value of what I have to share. So, thanks to this attitude, I've managed to speak in contexts I never thought possible, such as lecture halls as a university teacher, and even in high level educational promo videos, such as the one that I'm going to provide in the video description below. Now, I dare you to be equally stubborn. Don't allow a personal challenge to prevent you from letting the world know what you stand for. Step 13, be true to yourself. Performing is in the end a powerful way of expressing yourself. More often than not, you can choose what your performance will include and how it's going to be delivered. So if you look at it that way, you'll feel empowered, as this is your chance to be your true authentic self. Anxiety might come from a need for external validation, but this should never take precedence over authenticity. So performing is a way of revealing your true self, remember that. Step 14, let go of the outcome. I know this sounds like a paradox. How can you not care about the results of the work you've put your heart and soul into for probably a long space of time as well? But hear me out. If you become obsessed with how things turn out, if the applause or the grade becomes your sole focus, then this will put so much pressure on you that it will all prove counterproductive. Plus, no other outcome, such as simply learning from the experience, will please you. Instead, focus on the journey of the performance. Relax and forget about the destination for a second. Aim for flow, as discussed, and perform because you want to, not because you have to. Just let go. The results you want will then come naturally. Final step 15, keep practicing. The more you perform, the better you will perform. And as you begin to take pride in past successes, anxiety inducing thoughts will occur more rarely. So, my key considerations for breaking the cycle of performance anxiety instantly. Sometimes there's no time to wait. You need immediate relief from performance anxiety. What can help? Well, three things. Number one, deep breathing exercises. And this is very simple. Deep breath in then let it out. So deep breath in, then let it out. This will slow your heart rate and calm your mind. An extra tip is to wear comfortable shoes if you're outside, or if you're inside, do what I'm doing now and wear no shoes at all. Tip number 2, positive affirmations. So encourage yourself by saying, I can do this, or I am prepared. And if you need more on positive self-talk, you can read my How to Overcome Learning Limited Beliefs post, which I will provide the link to in the video description below. Tip 3, support networks. Call up a friend or family member, just open up to them, because the right social interactions can prove invaluable. You might actually find out that they've struggled with this as well, or are still struggling with performance anxiety, and that's beneficial in itself because you will not feel alone anymore. Plus, what are friends for? So I've been there. I haven't experienced nausea or shaking or sweating, not physical symptoms before performing, but I have mentally battled self-doubt and excessive worry before a performance. I didn't let this paralyze me though. I began breaking the cycle of performance anxiety by first understanding it, and then I implemented the very coping strategies that I talk about in this video. As I draw the curtain on the guide to managing performance anxiety that you've been listening to, remember that performing means growing. Embrace the journey and acknowledge the courage it takes to face the fear of performance. Each step you take to confront anxiety shows commitment to flourishing under the spotlight. Remember to also check out the video which shows Robert Downey Jr. helping that ghost with severe singing performance anxiety, because it is a happy ending. This character breaks free of anxiety and allows himself to shine. You can now do the same. The stage is yours. In terms of frequently asked questions on this topic, the first one would be, how do I get rid of performance anxiety? So just follow my 15-step guide. This is a chance for me to recap what I discussed in this video. So the 15 steps are preparing, visualizing, shifting your mindset, focusing only on the beginning, using relaxation techniques, meditating, limiting caffeine intake, power posing, reaching a state of flow, embracing imperfection, looking at the big picture, realizing the value of your performance, being true to yourself, letting go of outcome, and continuing to practice. The second question would be, how do I get rid of work performance anxiety? So if you experience performance anxiety at work, I would suggest that you first avoid negative self-talk. Use relaxation techniques such as meditating for a few minutes every morning before work or prior to your performance. If you find yourself in situations that trigger anxiety, create positive mental images. For example, visualize delivering an effective presentation and then work toward making that come true. Psychological factors are involved in the performance anxiety cycle, so the psychology-based advice that I'm giving in this video should prove of great assistance. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you click on the like button. You can subscribe as well, and by all means share in the comments your own experience with performance anxiety. What challenges have you had to overcome? How have you overcome them? Have you used any of the tips that I'm giving, or all of them, maybe not necessarily in the same order that I talk about them? I'm very curious to know what you think, so share in the comments below, and see you soon.